O'Brien.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN Friday afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And yeah, the last Friday that we have going on until we hit that holiday weekend. And right now, we have the S&Ps climbing higher on triple witching, folks. You jump over the S&Ps right now, and we have the market. S&Ps up by 58 points, as I mentioned at the top of the hour market update there. Very tight trading range. Seems like everyone's on Christmas break since about noon. That's it. I mean, look at these bars. You're talking about 5 points, okay, from about 68.86, 68.85 to 68.92, as we have just pinned this market right now to 68.88. And on a daily basis, you accelerate higher on the open, and we're right back up to this 1-to-1 line, which that line, folks, is all the way from the A to B, C to D that takes you on a longer-term basis, and that's right where we are back up to. Check that out. That's where we pinned 68.90 right now. S&P's up by 0.8%. Growth stocks, NASDAQ 100 plowing higher, up by 1.25%, up 312 points, 25,574. The Dow up by 0.4%, up 201 points, 48,520. And the Russell up by 0.5%, up 13 points at 2542. Bitcoin, a little volatility. We're up by $2,800, up 3.4% at 87,710. We talked about yields, a little bit of lower price, higher yield. Now, we've talked about the data in terms of the CPI. Okay, we get the CPI data point. And even the New York Fed president's acknowledging, yeah, this is a little distorted, okay? It isn't exactly a true recognition of the numbers because we missed some of the numbers. And two factors here. Number one, you have the sales going on, okay? Now, normally they account for that data, but you can't account for that data when they're only taking the prices during the sales month. They were not taking those prices in the beginning of November. They came back and took those prices later in November. We got a CPI print of 2.7, and John Williams, his words, there are some special factors or practical factors that really are related to the fact that they weren't able to collect data in October and not the first half of November. Because of that, I think the data were distorted in some of the categories. That pushed down the CPI reading probably by 1/10 or so. It's hard to know. We'll get some when we'll get the December data. I think we'll better get a better reading of how much that distortion, how big of effect it was. But I do think that it pushed down a bit by these technical factors. I take a moment to, we talked about it here. They were talking about it as well. A downward bias because it was collected mainly in the second half of November, when Black Friday, week or two, it seems like now is the case. Because the October CPI was canceled, Thursday's report, now this is just a quote, okay? Several of the standard data points typically included in the CPI report were lacked. The Bureau said it could not go back and collect October survey data, though it relied on non-survey data sources to construct the index. Economists believe some inputs to the owner's equivalent rent calculation for the canceled October month were estimated by the BLS to have zero inflation, distorting the calculation downward. I hope these numbers that we're not playing this game of seeing and that it's a one-off, because the last thing we want is to worry that the estimates being made are to distort the numbers, and this is a one-off. It is, because they couldn't collect that data. But this is going to carry through for some months. So you're going to see these CPI prints. And guess what? We got yields going higher today as the market says, hey, wait a second. Okay, that CPI print was not what it was. You even got the New York Fed president saying that as well. But guess what? That ain't stopping growth stocks today. Oracle on TikTok News up by 7.5%. Now, I was talking about this morning, so check this out on Oracle. Okay, where is Oracle back to? The beginning of 2024 on a monthly. You take a look at this thing on a weekly. Okay, and there's a couple bars that stick out when you're talking about where it just went to, which is 175 about. All right, you have a low of 177 on the bar Oracle today. You're trading higher on the TikTok News. This thing's been under pressure dramatically. And you're back down to the earnings from 2 seasons ago, almost 3 now, right, from June. The low from that bar is 173. That also correlates to this full expansion of the bar. We got volume in January, but really you go back here. Okay, and that is the area, the high of that bar. You get into this bar back here in September 2024, then yeah, maybe you're going to the bottom of that bar, which is 140. But the high of that bar is 173.94. That's where we got a nice pop from that area. Okay, it's the low of this big volume bar. You're right in the middle of this one from January. These are weeklies, and you're right back here to this area of September. All of those are decent strength in Oracle. Now, it's been quite a pullback, and you better get ready for a roller coaster if you're in this equity. It's turning into the ultimate AI growth play. Today, you're up by 7.5. The big dog, NVIDIA. Yeah, how about it, man? Today alone, almost $170 billion in market cap added. From where we were just on Wednesday, $250 billion of market cap added to the owners of this equity. Now, there are many of them. There's 25 billion shares outstanding. But yeah, quite a move for quite an equity, up by 4% today. Micron, how about it? It's not stopping, man. Look at this equity, man. Check out that weekly. My goodness, right? You trade lower into earnings. A big day yesterday. You give back some of it. You're exploding higher yet again today. And you're going to do it with volume, man. You're going to take out everything with volume on Micron. Look at that. 191 million shares right now. Whoo-wee. Now look at this from the April lows. All right, there's your 1 to 2.618 expansion, 283. I mean, you got a bunch going on here because this could be an A to B, C to D. So number one, you have this one right here. Now look how you accelerate past the B point. Okay. Don't quite take it out with volume on a weekly, but you had some decent volume on this acceleration as you push past it. But check this one out because you almost got another one going right now. It's like a 1 week pullback. But you're going to take it out with volume. My goodness, 352, like another $100. Let's see what kind of a pullback that actually was. Yeah, look at that. Pretty close to the 382. Look at that. Look how you're breaking above it. Now, that was the volume yesterday, but that was a trade higher. Okay, you trade higher volume. We're not going to get above it today, but look at this weekly volume, man. Micron's taking it out with volume to the upside. Whew. I mean, hey, that's breaking a B point with volume, and you got this massive B point, but guess what? It's breaking it. Micron up 7.6%. Stay tuned, folks. We'll come right back.